Hey, so today I went and saw Orphan First Kill, and what I think? It was really good. Um, to start things off, the cinematography in it was actually quite good. Um, I noticed this as well. It actually looks better than the first movie because one kind of an issue that I had with the first Orphan movie was that I felt like the movie didn't exactly have the best camera. Well, but I think this movie honestly has like a much better camera. I mean, then again, though, the first Orphan movie did come out in 2009, and this prequel is out in 2022, so yeah, it kind of makes sense, that 2022 movie is obviously going to look a lot better than a 2009 movie camera wise. Um, well, no, it's just the first Orphan movie came out the exact same year as Avatar. Uh, and yeah, I know Orphan didn't exactly have quite as big of a budget as Avatar has, but and hey, look at that, Avatar came out 13 years ago as well, and it's also getting a sequel later on this year. Um, but I was saying, you know, I mean, I was funny, right? It's also been 13 years since the last Friday the 13th movie, and there hasn't been one since then. I mean, 2022 would be the perfect year to release a new Friday the 13th movie, considering it's been 13 years since the last one. But actually, maybe it's better that way, because I feel like if they made another Friday movie, then they'd probably just start, cat milking the franchise out. But anyways, moving on. So, anyways, cinematography is good. Pace is also pretty good as well. This movie actually isn't really all that long. I mean, it's about an hour and 39 minutes long. And I feel like the runtime might drag out a bit for a few people, but for me personally, the movie didn't. They didn't really drag it. It went. It actually had quite a good pace. It didn't rush through the movie, but it didn't kind of really drag either. It went at a normal pace, and I liked that. Um, the sounds and music is really good. The film has some decent scores in it. With some very intense tracks, and not to mention at one point they play "She's a Maniac." I mean, that's a very fitting song to play for a movie like this. Um, the editing is actually quite good. Like uh, well, I'm not gonna lie. In like some of the scenes where we see so like the flashes, like it flashes to all like sort of like purplish that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it actually does look quite good, honestly. Um, in the first movie it looks good, and this movie looks good as well. Um, not to mention, there's this one scene with fire in it. If you guys have seen the trailer, you know that there's going to be a scene in the movie where there's like a building burning down, but kind of similar to in the first movie when they're when the scene when Esther she like when she put the house on fire. Well, she put the little tree house on fire. Uh, but Shan, I must say the fire effects and stuff they actually look pretty good. certainly much better fire effects and fire starter anyways, but yeah, the ending is really good. Um, as for the characters, um, Esther is once again a great character, and she's a great horror villain, uh, one of the best horror children, and once again, Isabelle Fhurmann does a great job with the performance 13 years later. Um, uh, and then there's also her family in this movie, and wow, they're actually quite different from her family in the first movie, because in the first movie you had the father John, I think that was his name. John was his name, yeah. Um, then there was the mother whose name I can't think of. She was played by Vera Farmiga. Um, there was the son Daniel and the deaf daughter Max. Um, if you guys have seen the movie, you know that's like John, like he's a massive douchebag in the movie. Now, this may spoil a few scenes, but there's a few scenes in the original movie where it's implied that John actually cheated on his wife 2 years prior. And not to mention his wife, she also starts to become very suspicious of Esther, and he doesn't even think twice about it. Um, but yeah, other than John, the rest of the family in the first movie, they're all innocent, like. But in this movie, it's actually quite different, because you've got because like this is the family, because we learned this is the family who she got the where who Lena got the name Esther from, uh, because they had a daughter called Esther who dies, um, and we actually learn in the movie how the real Esther dies, and like, oh my god, it's actually quite a shocking moment in the movie. But the family in this movie, you've got the father Alan, um, his wife, I can't think of her name. She's played by Julia Stiles, and you've got their son Gunnar. Um, yeah, let's just say of the three of them, in this case, the father is actually the only innocent one. Um, but yeah, and I do actually like that, and it shows that Esther isn't actually the only villain in this story. Um, as a lot of as two of let's just say two of the other characters in this movie actually aren't all that innocent either. Um, uh, the plot was actually pretty good. I did kind of notice, alright, that the movie did once or twice kind of repeat some things from the first movie, but it wasn't that bad. And it's not to mention this movie also shows us like the origins of some of Esther's traits from the first movie, which I really like. Um, the narrative structure was good. There was like, well, I mean, the main plot of the movie is just Esther being in this house with this new family, and like having to like pretend to be their dead daughter, and but when once some of these other kind of subplots come in, they actually start to make the plot a lot more interesting. Um, so overall, Orphan First Kill is actually a really good movie. It's not one that I actually thought would be good, because like thing was, I just the first Orphan movie kind of just felt like its own just kind of a fresh horror movie, like a one time thing, and I just didn't really feel like they should like continue the story by showing the prequel about Esther, and like it just kind of felt unnecessary, and just like they were trying to make into a franchise. And it was also weird as well. This movie was being released 13 years later, because when the first Orphan movie came out in 2009, Isabelle Fhurmann was 12, but now in 2022 she is 25, same age as my sister. Um, but I must say though, the way they were able to get all this done, um, it was actually, yeah, actually they pulled it off really well. And now I must say this movie actually it was really good. It actually proves to be a worthy prequel, and not to mention I actually thought it was superior to the first Orphan movie. But anyways, so with that, I'm going to give Orphan First Kill an 8 out of 10. I'll see you guys next time, and bye.